start today. Tell you, it feels so good. Yeah, I normally don't sleep in, as most of you know. And I was thinking about it. I mean, to some think sleep might be like a sign of depression, but I think maybe it's just the body's way of giving us our rest we need, and during various physical or mental exhausting periods, I think our body has a tendency to create adrenaline or uh, reserve energies, if you will. Um, but I think when the system does finally settle down and calm down and feel safe or okay, uh, that the body will tell you that you need to rest and it's time for rest. And boy, I got a lot of sleep last night and it felt wonderful. Felt wonderful. Only woke a couple times. Yeah, I woke up at like 8:15. Don't know if I made it till 10 o'clock last night. Oh, yeah. We got some work to do, though. Not work to do today. We got the day off. When I say work, I mean you and I do. We got some coffee to make. Let's go make some coffee. That'll be nice. That will be nice. Oh, here we go. Well, let's get the coffee started. I'm going to address what I have going on in the sink in a minute. I'm not very proud of what's going on in the sink. It's a dirty plate, but it's worse than a dirty plate. It's got like grease, or chilled animal fat from ground beef floating in the plate. It's not very attractive. Made some nachos for dinner last night. They were very tasty. But I'm not pleased at what is left. I think we're gonna need a strong coffee today. We're gonna go with the Sumatra, I believe. Wonder what kind of coffee you folks are making. Okay, what do we have? We have cinnamon dolce, we got Sumatra, we got a little bit of pumpkin spice, and then we got a full bag of pumpkin spice left in here. We also got a little of this mushroom protein latte that they sent me. Tastes really nice. I don't doubt that it's I don't know, maybe a health food even. Maybe even a little good for you. That mushroom coffee. I mean, it comes with like 10 grams of protein and has 200 calories, so it's got more substance to it than coffee does. But, oh, I didn't put the water in. I don't know that I have I think the clear head and the peace of mind and the massive benefits that they quote are, I'm gonna guess, placebo effect more than anything. I'll put away my spaghetti pot. My saucepan, although it's not really a saucepan, it's a little bigger than that. My ladles, these were very cheap. By the way, when I first moved into my apartment, not when I first did, a couple months in, I moved in on a really limited budget. I mean, a really limited budget. And, you know, I still have a really limited budget, but I've been piecing together what I would say is a really nice apartment over the last, I don't know, 8 months since I moved in. And there was one time I had my nephews and nieces over and we needed knives. My nephew was gonna cook a nice dinner and he honestly thought that it was ridiculous I would buy such a cheap set of steak knives and things. But I'll tell you what, it's worked out perfectly. I think the whole set might have been like 30 bucks. I use the scissors all the time. I use the knives when I need them. And they work just fine. If I had a permanent home or forever home, I maybe was in a relationship or something, and I was doing a lot of whining and dining, if you will, I might get some fancier, more permanent knives. But for now, these are working perfectly. And I've kind of done it with a lot of my things. The futon, you know, it was only 220 bucks. You can obviously spend a lot more money on a nice couch. But what I've taught myself is you can decorate. I mean, I bought these plates, a full set of plates and bowls and cups at Walmart. I mean, they look nice. They might not be the patina for you or the color, or certainly not fine china. But having a nice, I mean, for me, a nice enough matching set of plates and cups and things feels good. I bought the silverware at Target. I think it was like $2 a piece. So they're, again, not the highest quality, but they're certainly been very pleased with them. They feel good. So what I'm saying, and my message to anybody out there, I don't need to target my message, but I think people going through divorce often find themselves in financial, very dire straits, and are scared and don't know if they're going to be able to make it, and how are they going to be able to afford things, and will they ever have a nice house or something they're proud of. I'm just telling you, it can be done. It doesn't happen necessarily overnight. And for anybody that's been tuning into my story, you certainly know it didn't happen overnight for me. It's been a long and painful journey, but a journey filled with lots of lessons. It can happen. Somebody says they're going through it right now. Yeah. I think it was especially challenging for me because I lost my career, but my career I should have lost. I was a realtor and I didn't love it. And I lost my career, so I had to find a new job and had no idea what I was going to do. I mean, I wanted to create content. I wanted to do my little talk show. I knew that would take some time, but honestly, I figured that would grow faster than it has. I'm always optimistic and have a great belief in myself. I don't know, but without that optimism and belief in yourself and a little faith in a higher power, you're in trouble, I think. Let's see. Good morning, Julie Flanagan. How are you? Just getting started. I don't even have my coffee brewed yet. What did we talk for? About 10 minutes? We've done a lovely introduction. A lovely introduction. I mean, I'm ready for my coffee. My coffee's not ready for me. What am I going to talk about with you guys? I guess I could light a candle. Let's light a candle. Maybe light my fireplace up. Yeah, let's light my fireplace up and then light a candle. Maybe by that time, there will be enough coffee in the pot to grab a cup. I'm gonna go this angle. Oh, you don't see me at this angle very often. Hey, the lighting's kind of nice. I got all this natural light coming in. Maybe next time I sit down and do my show, I'll do it from this angle. Might be a little too much natural light. My eyes are all puffy. And still no Jackson. No. Hold on, I'm getting my fire going. People are trying to tell me jokes that aren't that funny. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. I know the show is called Coffee with Ken. We will get the coffee soon. We will get the coffee soon. First, we're going to get our fireplace started. Oh, yeah. My show features a fireplace. You don't believe me? You don't believe? It has a fireplace. Look at that. Oop. Sometimes when you get a really special fireplace with me, like I have, the fire actually glitches. But that's only because I'm very powerful and I have great faith and I can cause the fire to glitch. I hope it becomes unglitched, because this would not be a video. This would just be a picture of a fireplace. Still fairly pleasing. Let's see what happens if I do it again. Oh, there we go. There we go. That's what you guys are looking for. You're probably wondering, what's that picture? It's a sort of semi-bleak picture above the fireplace. I wonder how many of you know what that is. I may not tell you. I've told you before. I wish I could offer you fabulous prizes for those that would know the answers to my trivia. All right, we got enough coffee in the pot right now. My stall tactic worked perfectly. Let's get ourselves a cup. Most of you guys are probably up and started today. Probably done with your coffee. But good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. My name is Ken Tracy, and this is Coffee with Ken. It is Saturday morning. It is November 22nd. It is 8:42 a.m. Happy Saturday to you. Coffee with Ken is a little show that I've been doing for quite some time. It is a show about me talking, show about me sharing some feelings, kind of sharing a little bit of the ups and downs that we all have in life. I started this show, I was feeling down. I was trying to cling on to a very toxic relationship and recreate myself. I was drinking every day. I was smoking pot every day. I was trying to reinvent myself at the time, although I didn't know it. I didn't have any faith. I wasn't going to church. I certainly didn't have these fun candles. And one thing led to another. I kept putting one foot in front of the other, and I made it through. And I think sometimes making it through is a victory in and of itself. Somebody said they do the same thing with the lid of their Starbucks cup. Everyone asks, why do you put a lid over your coffee? To keep it hot. Duh. Duh. Keeps it hot. Oh. But anyway, for those that have been watching a while, you know this show isn't just a show about me talking. For those that have been watching a while, you know this show is also about me sharing my love of coffee. Somebody who calls themselves Fat Body just came on and said, "Hi, I'm obese." Now, I don't know if you're serious that you have a serious weight problem. Or not. But you certainly have an emotional problem either way, that you've named yourself Fat Body. on the YouTube channel and that you introduce yourself to a group as with, "Hi, I'm obese." You know, and that's just, whether you're even joking or you're serious, that can't be a good mental health perspective. And it certainly can't be a good physical health. If you have a weight issue, shaming yourself with the name of fat body and introducing yourself to a group of people with, "Hi, I'm obese," you know, isn't gonna make you feel better or make you lose any weight. Yeah. But anyway, as I was saying, for this is not just a show about me talking or addressing an audience, and I think I do a fairly good job of engaging with an audience and talking at the same time. Sometimes situations like that develop and I get distracted from my intro, but that's okay. That is okay. But anyway, I am very excited to have my first sip, and my hope is wherever you are and whatever you're doing, that you got a hot cup of coffee in front of you as well. Cheers, Tuss. I'm often asked what my favorite cup of coffee is, or what my favorite type of coffee is. And a lot of times I'll answer like the pumpkin spice, or sometimes the cinnamon dolce. But if I had to have a forever cup of coffee, it'd probably be the Starbucks Sumatra. Yeah. It's just such a good, huge coffee flavored coffee. And it's really wonderful. Let's see. And we got a lot of conversation today. We've got a lot of conversation today. I'm looking for some really good nuggets of conversation. Things I want to grab a hold of and talk about. Calling me Bruce Willis or Arnie Slott probably won't get it done, but it might. It might. If you guys hop on the show hoping to engage with me, and that's your way, you do you. You do you. But mostly it won't work. Why do I have no milk in this coffee? Because I drink it black at home. I put cream on the road. You want to know why? I've said it 1,000 times. Multiple reasons. Multiple reasons. But I wanted to learn the flavor of the coffee itself. And I have. And I used to get like a sweetened cream at home. And then when I ran out, I couldn't enjoy my coffee. And I would worry about, did we get the cream? Oh, crud, I forgot it. Didn't buy any. How are we going to drink our coffee tomorrow? It's probably not healthy for you. If you put a shot in every cup, you're probably picking up a lot of extra needless calories. And finally, there's a little bit of cost factor, but that's not really it. I just don't need it and enjoy it black at home. But on the road, I'll usually put some cream in it. I think Jose hopped on and said I did the IRL. That I did the IRL. And I think IRL stands for in real life. Is that correct, Jose Garcia, I believe is your name? He suggested I start doing some more out and about videos. I don't know if maybe I did it because, was that an out and about video? I mean, I happened to be at a Starbucks. It was totally empty. I had some time on my hand. I didn't know what I was gonna do to fill it. So I just did a Coffee with Ken show while at a Starbucks. It didn't feel very different at all. Oh, that's nice. All right, well, thank you, Jose. I appreciate your attitude about that and your soft suggestion. It didn't feel any different, though. It just felt like me doing a afternoon coffee talk at Starbucks, where, while I was drinking not hot enough coffee, by the way. Good morning, Bradley. How are you? Where did my hair go? I had the chance to work with some kids the other day. And they would ask questions like, what happened to your hair? Or where did your hair go? Or why are you bald? Could that be what's going on here, that we have like some 5 or 7-year-olds with their phones asking where my hair went? I always wondered what was the fascination with the baldness. But most 5 and 7-year-olds wouldn't know who Arnie Slaughter, the Prime Minister of New Zealand, is, or probably Bruce Willis either. But I'm wondering. I am wondering. But anyway, it is Saturday morning. It is Saturday morning. And I got a great night's sleep. Can't even believe I slept past 8 o'clock. I can't believe it. Have I ever been to Michigan? Well, yes. For most of you that watch my show, you know I currently live in Wisconsin, which actually borders Michigan. And I grew up in Illinois, which almost borders Michigan. It borders Lake Michigan. So yes, I have been to Michigan. Yes. Have I ever been to California? Yes, I've also been. Again, I live in the United States. I'm 57. I've done a little bit of traveling. When you live right next to Michigan, you know, unless you're like Amish and drive a wagon, you probably visit neighboring states, and even they do. And when you live in the United States and you're 57 and you traveled a little, you've probably been to California. I would bet most people have. When I went to Yellowstone, did you really ride my scooter there? How long did that take? Jose Garcia, I'm not gonna fib on my show. I actually did Coffee with Ken Lives on the road to and from Yellowstone. I rode on average like 300 miles a day. So it took maybe 4.5 days, maybe 4 days, I don't remember exactly. I think it is just like 1,250 miles there. And it was super cool. It wasn't a moped, it was a Suzuki Bergman 400, which is a highway legal bike. But I wasn't a highway capable driver. and I rode a lot of the off-roads, the 2-lane highways of America, and it was amazing. It was amazing. Was I freezing? Yeah, I thought I was going to die at various points. I rode out last May. I think I was scheduled to check in to work on May 24th. So I left like May 19th. The first leg of my journey, my oldest daughter was graduating high school in DeKalb, which is about 60 miles from where I lived in Naperville. And that was a fairly scary trip. I wasn't used to going very fast, and had to get comfortable with cars passing me on these 2-lane roads, which is a little bit of a scary feeling when you're nervous about riding a little bit. It was probably dangerous, but it was an amazing trip. So anyway, drove out, saw my daughter graduate high school, which was awesome. And I remember like hugging my daughters and seeing my first wife's husband, and he goes, honestly, I'm a little jealous of you. He was excited. He'd ridden like dirt bikes and stuff a lot, and I think the adventure that awaited me was really neat. And I rode into Iowa the first night, and across Iowa, and barely into Nebraska the second day, and then across Nebraska the third day, and then into Wyoming to Cody, Wyoming on the fourth day, and then into Yellowstone the next morning. Oh. Yes, Jose Garcia. I rode to the eastern gate of Yellowstone from Cody, Wyoming, which was a scary as heck ride, And I think it was like 50 degrees when I left Cody in the morning. It might have been colder. And the temperature slowly dropped on my gauge, and it got down to either 31 or 29. And it was snowing when I got to the east gate of Yellowstone, and I really thought I might die out there. If I crashed my scooter, I might have died. And again, it was starting to snow, and you don't want to be on two wheels in this. It wasn't snowing heavily, but the temperature was dropping, and there could have been ice on the roads, and I was scared as heck. And I got there, and the gate was closed because they had either an avalanche or a snowstorm, because it's at the very high altitude, and they had to get the roads cleared. And I found a little cabin right outside, and spent the night at this little inn right outside of the east gate of Yellowstone. It was pretty cool. Working there was interesting. The whole experience was super interesting. Even the fact that I realized I didn't want to be in Yellowstone, and that living in a national park isn't for me, and that I wouldn't want to be Ranger Ken or a tour guide or a nature photographer, really at all. My favorite part, I didn't really do many hikes. I was scared of getting eaten by a bear. Plus, I don't really love hiking. I was working hard as a waiter. I was tired. When I had time off, I'd either rest in my dorm room or go down to a neighboring town, a town just outside of the north gate of Yellowstone called Gardner, Montana. And it was super cool. What made me go out there in the first place? And again, I think this is an interesting topic. I was trying to reconcile with my second wife. We had two beautiful kids. It was not working at all. We weren't getting along. Like we never got along. And we weren't getting along again. And I think I at least, was trying to do it for the sake of what was best for the kids. But anyway, I left. I couldn't be in the house anymore. and didn't have a job or a way to cover my financial responsibilities. And any job I looked at wasn't going to afford me to cover my financial responsibilities and keep a roof over my head. I'd been a waiter a couple times in my life before that, but at this time I was 55 years old or 54 years old or whatever. And I knew my body had aged a little bit. I wasn't sure I could handle the rigors of waiting tables full time. But there was a job opening for a waiter in Yellowstone. If anyone's curious and wants to try living in a national park, the name of the company is Xanterra. That is Xanterra. You can look up jobs under Xanterra.com /jobs, I think. But go to the Xanterra website, you'll find career opportunities or job opportunities. And they put you up in a dorm room and give you a roommate or two. I had two. And they feed you for $500 a month and they give you a job. And my job was a server, which I was probably making, I don't know, $5,000 a month or something, the months I was out there. And my housing cost and food cost was only $500. There wasn't much to spend your money on out there. There was a employee bar, and but I don't drink, so I didn't really spend any money, and it got me to get to a financially stable position and cover my responsibilities. And it was awesome. I think the ride was awesome. I mean, the experience, the story I'm telling you now is kind of awesome. But living out there is not for me. Oh. Somebody says real estate is one of the best businesses out there. I don't even know what that means. I don't think you even know what that means. Did I not like living in the dorm? Well, I didn't love living in the dorm. There was no AC. I mean, it was okay. It was a place to sleep. It was okay, but there was a lot of turnover on the employees. The very first day I walked in and there was a guy who was honestly a mess who ended up getting fired the next day. It was weird because he overslept work and he'd done it before. I think there's a lot of people out there maybe searching for something, and when you put a bunch of people like that in close quarters, and again, I had two roommates. There was a lot of turnover. I ended up with a nice roommate from like Slovakia. They draw international people, and it was pretty cool. He was a very nice guy. But again, it's a little strange having roommates as an adult. I think the two hardest issues for me, I mean, the work was amazingly taxing. I'd close the dinner shift and get home at like 11:30 and have to be at work for breakfast shift at 6 o'clock the next day, a couple times a week. And I still managed to do my Coffee with Ken show right outside the dining room in Yellowstone. I think you can rewind it. I think on YouTube, they're probably all still here or still there. Or if not, they're on TikTok somewhere. I think they're probably pretty neat shows. But the hardest thing about living in the dorm for me was I go to the bathroom 2 or 3 times a night. I have a hard time getting out of bed and going to the bathroom in my apartment, but we had a bathroom on the first floor and I was on the second. And to get your PJs on and go out into a bright hall and walk down the hall and go down the stairs to go to the bathroom sucks. I mean, you do what you gotta do, but it certainly wasn't my favorite part. And secondly, eating in the dorms felt, I don't know, I felt for a little bit more they could have made it a lot nicer. We were served on these trays, and whatever food we were getting was put directly on these trays. We weren't given like plates. And I felt it, the whole experience of the dining felt somewhat prison-like. And there was a feedback card. And on the very first day I said that, I go, you know, serving us in trays And I'm sure it's just a way to keep costs down. And if you're a, I don't know, 20-year-old and have never, I don't know, or if you're in my situation, you don't have room to bitch. But either way, I thought the dining experience wasn't ideal. Were my roommates my age? I had several different roommates. I had one guy that was older than me, and he left because he came to Yellowstone. I forget where he was from, but he came with a woman, and their plan was to room together. I think it was his girlfriend, and very nice people, but they got separated when they got moved in, and then a bigger room came open, and were able to live together. So they left. That guy was older. Everyone else was younger. I'd say most of the people were 18 to 30. And then if outside of that, there was a big void of people from, say, 35 to 60. And then there was a bunch of older people that were retired and working in the gift shop or whatever. And I tell you, it was an awesome experience. I'm not bitching about it, but I'm just being real. It wasn't for me. I wouldn't be excited to go back. But I tell you what, for anybody looking for something different that wants to live in a national park and is struggling financially or wants to try something different, it was an amazing experience. It really was. You get to live in a national park and do various jobs. There's janitors, there's hotel specialists, there's gift shop operators, there's all sorts of different jobs they have. There's accountants even. There's an accountant. I met a nice woman that was an accountant. Oh. Can I sing a song? I don't think so. I sing a lot lately. At work, I'm singing all the time. I told you yesterday, I have 3 jobs. One I'm a waiter at, one I'm a when I say waiter, I don't know if that's politically correct these days. We call them servers these days. So at one job, I'm a server. And another job, I'm a bartender / server. I do both. And at the first job last night, there was music playing, and it was very 70s, 80s music. And the bartender and I and all of us were kind of guessing who sang this song as the songs came up. And some were easy, like Journey or Steve Perry or Hall & Oates, but some were a little more obscure. And again, I was giving special attention to the songs that were being played. And then as I'm walking through the restaurant, I'm just singing them along and singing it in the back of the restaurant in the cook or the kitchen area. It was funny. Yeah. So we have a lovely audience today. We have a lovely audience, a generous audience with 26 thumbs up. We've got 36 people watching. Doesn't surprise me. Certainly doesn't disappoint me. There's times in life I'd say it's a little quiet audience, but I am thankful for the 36 people that are on my show today. Let's see. What is going on? Somebody says it's a long weekend. Is it a long weekend? Is it a holiday on Monday? I mean, I know we have Thanksgiving coming up. They can't put a holiday on Monday because it's Thanksgiving on Thursday. I don't think it's a long weekend. Outside of the fact it's Saturday morning, the weekend's just starting, and I'm just waking up, shaking the fog out of my head. Hey. Somebody sent me $2.49. That was so kind. I really appreciate you sending me the €2.49. But I'm not going to sing my favorite song. I don't do tricks on this show. I really, really do appreciate you sending the money. I'd love to be a full-time content creator, and my hope is that what I do is enough. But I'm not going to do tricks for money. That's not what I do. Did I ever imagine I would get this old? I mean, it happened a lot quicker than I expected it to. Yeah, life goes a lot quicker than you expect. You know, when you're young, it feels like life's really forever, and I guess it is forever from our perspective. It's all we know. But I'll tell you, you're 57, and before you know it, I mean, I feel great. I physically feel great. I'm proud of who I am and what I've accomplished and the stories I'm telling and what I'm doing and the relationships I've had and don't have anymore and where I'm at. But yeah, it goes quick. It goes quick. I'm gonna get a little more coffee. You guys can come with. Oh. I will tell you what. Oh yeah, that's nice. There's my fireplace right there. You don't have, I was gonna say you guys are probably jealous of my fireplace. You don't really have to be. You don't have to be. You can have your own. Should we go over here? Maybe we should go over here. Try a little different angle. Need my candle and my water. Oh, dangerous carrying a coffee. Uh-oh, my lid. I left my lid to my coffee back there. Somebody says, American homes are way too big. How do you heat this room? I mean, I live in a one-bedroom apartment. If you think this home, I'm gonna get my lid and show my apartment again. Again, it's just a one-bedroom apartment. So if this, I mean, it's a big apartment, there's no doubt. I'm very thrilled with my apartment. Might as well show you the rest. There's my bedroom. It's, you know, it's got high ceilings again and a huge window. There's my bathroom. Back in there's my laundry room, which is super awesome to have in an apartment. I've rented a fair amount of apartments in my life. I believe this is the first one I've ever had a laundry room in it, and I will tell you what, it is very nice to have. Thank you. Yeah, no, I'm very pleased with my home. Pleased with this lamp, too. Oh, it doesn't need a woman's touch. It doesn't need a woman's touch at all. I love it the way it is. I've had women that have put their touch on my home, and what they do is they stamp out every bit of you in the home, and it becomes the woman's home. So yeah, it doesn't need a woman's touch at all. Rent is not like $3,000 or so. I live in Wisconsin, and the rent I pay here is like $1,200. If it was in the western suburbs of Chicago, it'd probably be $2,500 or $3,000. So yeah. Plants, rugs, flowers. I got plants. I've got a rug. I had a rose bush, 200 pillows. I don't want any of that. I don't want a bunch of crap. Okay, don't take this personally, women. You decorate with just more stuff. You have at least not every woman, but I think women see an empty space and think it needs filled. And it doesn't always need filled. Sometimes simple is better. And just because you like decorating doesn't mean every inch of a home needs stuff in it. That's just that's kind of hoarding. Honestly, it almost feels like a lot of women I know or have known, are almost hoarders. Yeah. Yeah, you spend money on things you don't need because there's an open wall over there and go, what would fit on that wall? Maybe I can get something that hangs from the wall. I'll go to IKEA or wherever we buy things these days and buy something to hang it on that wall. I mean, I wouldn't mind if I'd have like a huge clock there. Would look kind of cool, I think, or something simple. But I got a few pictures up. I got a painting from my daughters. I got a painting from a friend that says Coffee with Ken. I got a St. Andrew's painting. I've got plants. There's my hibiscus. There's my majestic palm. Over there behind that door is a monstera. I've got a rose bush on the other side that is near death. Yeah, less to keep track of and dust off, just less noise. I think stuff in our lives is like static on the brain. And I have struggled with anxiety most of my life. I didn't even know how bad it was. My brother took his life about 3.5 years ago now. And I always knew that I was struggling with some stuff. But he must have been sort of afflicted in the same way I was. He and I were similar but different. And when he took his life, I said, whoa, I better take this a little more seriously. These aren't just slightly anxious thoughts. I'm afraid of everything or worried about everything. And need to take my own mental health a little more seriously. And have done that through various things, most importantly faith, but also stopping drinking and smoking pot. And realizing what's important, and owning stuff isn't important. And to me, it just clouded my brain with thoughts. You know, I love my plants, but each of them is a thought. Oh, I need to water that one. Oh, a couple leaves are turning yellow over there. I might be behind. Is that monstera gonna climb up the fishing rod I put in its pot? Again, I love my home. When I have my little ones up here, I got 2 little twin beds for them. I've got a bunch of toys that can be put away when they're not here. The only thing I'm missing from my home is my little ones. But other than that, I really love it. Good morning, Jim Rat. It truly is a glorious audience we have today. Truly is a glorious audience we have today. Somebody says they quit drinking. Well, congratulations to you on quitting drinking. People are very different, and I know I talk a lot about my own not drinking, and it probably doesn't apply to everybody, and I'll have people that I meet in life, and I'll Tell them I have a talk show that I do every morning. And it's probably not for everybody because probably not everybody wants to talk about sobriety or mental health or financial highs and lows or divorce or stuff. I don't know what my point is, but I do congratulate that person that stopped drinking. Because I think if you tell people outside that you don't drink anymore, especially in a couple of my jobs, because again, I work as a bartender in a job and I work as a server, and I'll have the patrons ask if I have a selection, a recommendation on the wine, and I could just tell them, oh yeah, get the red blend or whatever, because that's what I like, because I used to like red blends, but I usually end up telling them I don't drink anymore, so they don't think I've actually drank it. And most of them, I think, are a little jealous. Seabiscuit enjoys a few beers on college football day. Yeah, whatever. Again, I'm not saying if you're not worried about it at all, you just keep drinking. And again, I have friends that drink occasionally and whatever. But for me, it wasn't occasional. For me, it was, 4 or 5 years ago. Or no, 5 years ago, because I stopped drinking just over 4. I may or may not be drinking a screwdriver at this time. I mean, I didn't drink much vodka or many screwdrivers, but I might have been getting warmed up for the Illini football game, assuming Illinois plays today, and I certainly would have had at least a 12-pack of Heineken in my fridge. I may have had plans to go to a buddy's and been planning on stopping and getting some, and we were probably going to watch football all day and drink beer all day. And again, for me, it wasn't just for college football. It was because then tomorrow's the NFL and Monday is Monday Night Football. And then we got Tuesday. I could find a reason to celebrate that. Wednesday before Thanksgiving is the biggest night one of the biggest nights out of the year. Thursday, we got football all day at Thanksgiving. I'm certainly going to be drinking then. Friday's Friday, Saturday's Saturday, and we're doing it all over again next Sunday. I'm just telling you, it's super easy. And I wonder how many of us do that. I wonder how many of us live like that. And how many of us do just drink a few drinks now and again. Or, even if you had a couple drinks every day, it's probably not a big issue. But most people don't, or at least I didn't. How much is my rent? It's about $1,200. And again, I live in Appleton, Wisconsin. It's interesting. I'll drive in here and I'll drive around. I came from Naperville, which is often voted one of the best places to live or raise a family in the country. And I didn't really know it or appreciate it, even though I was a realtor at the time. But it's become a pretty expensive suburb and a very increasingly higher end suburb where they're tearing down a lot of the houses with character and building these massive, massive homes. They got great school districts, a great downtown, a great river walk, great parks. It is a really nice town, but it's becoming increasingly more expensive and harder to afford. And that's a lot of the reason I'm up here. And when I drive around here, I see kind of regular houses that aren't that well kept and aren't that expensive. And it's kind of interesting. And I would say just generally, it is a lower, I don't know if the word socioeconomic area than where I grew up. And it's just different and things are cheaper. And that feels good for a guy that needed to cut costs a little bit. Again, a glorious audience today. A glorious audience with 54 people watching, 38 thumbs up, and $2.87, which came in the form of euros. Today. Somebody asked me to sing my favorite song. I wonder if they're still tuned in or they're probably mad. I don't even know what my favorite song is. I sing on this show, but I don't do it on command. I don't know what my favorite song is. I mean, I think, what's my favorite song? I don't really have a favorite song. When you have like best friends and favorite songs, it's kind of like when you're a kid. But I just think of all the songs that have meant a ton to me over my lifetime, or the song I might be listening to a lot right now. Somebody introduced me to a song by Morgan Wallen, the country singer, called I Am the Problem. I don't know much by Morgan Wallen, but I like that song, I liked the first time I heard it, and I've heard a few of his songs, and they all sound pretty good. Seabiscuit said, everyone is friendly on here. Black by Pearl Jam. And somebody's concerned that they didn't expand the highways a long time ago like they should have. I mean, I don't even know why you would think they needed to expand the highways. You mean around like cities where there's a lot of traffic? You mean to prevent like traffic jams? Who is my favorite Marvel character? I'd say by far the best Marvel movie was the first Iron Man. That was great. And that blew me away. And I was smoking pot at the time, and I had a buddy who'd seen it before, and we were smoking pot and watching it. And I remember when he escaped the cave, if you guys remember the movie or the scene, and he set off the rockets in his feet, and he launched up while there was explosions everywhere, and he went and landed in the sand. And I was like, whoa, that was the most awesome movie I've ever seen. And what I didn't know is that was kind of just the first like half hour, 40-minute introduction to the movie, an introduction to Iron Man himself. But yeah, I thought that was a great, great movie. Okay, in your area, it's growing so fast. You're from Kaukauna. So you're right down the road from me. You are right down the road from me. I wonder how we get local viewers, or why we get local viewers. I wonder if YouTube somehow senses, or maybe, I don't know, I've mentioned Appleton, so they somehow connect me to you. But either way. So it's Saturday morning. I don't know how much I have for you. I've already talked for about an hour. I'm scratching and clawing towards 10,000 subscribers. There's an outside chance I could pick up my 99th, 100th today. Wouldn't that be fun? I set getting 10,000 subscribers as a year-end goal. There's a chance I could do it before December, but it would really take a great contribution on your part. Probably a lot more quality content on my part, but this is all I got. I don't have another gear. This is the best content I have. So it's probably going to take a lot of work from you to get me to 10,000 subscribers before December. Oh, somebody's sending me a lot of hearts. I appreciate that. We got 55 people watching. We got 43 thumbs up. At minimum, I think I should probably get to 50 likes on a Saturday. So if you can help me out and double tap that screen, if you don't want to subscribe, that's okay. But please, even if you don't like my stuff, double tap the screen and get me to 50 viewers. Strokes my ego a little bit. And feels good when our ego's stroked a little bit. All right, we're at 46. Cave with scraps. That was funny. Gravity, he gave a quote from the movie. How do I afford such a nice place? Do I have any advice for those still in college? honestly, this isn't that expensive of a place. It's nice, but again, it's only $1,200. Not that 1,200's nothing. When I graduated college, 1,200 could get you an awesome apartment in downtown Chicago, and I do mean awesome. But that same apartment today, and that was 35 years ago, would probably be $4,000 or something like that. But yeah, for 1,200, I had 3 jobs. One of them I haven't even been paid on yet, so that almost doesn't count. I work as a waiter and a bartender, and I have 2 ex-wives that I pay child support to. So it's a struggle. But again, I think this is a nice home, and I'm proud of it, and it feels real good for me. Third in healthcare. Oh, you mean my job? What do you think? I'm a brain surgeon on the side? I'm a bartender by night and a server. Hello. Could you please, my name's Ken, I'll be taking care of you. We need to wrap up our dinner this evening as I have some brain surgery to commence in 2 hours. So you will not be getting dessert tonight. I look like a physical therapy type guy. Well, I appreciate that, I think. Hello, little mama. Somebody says I live in Northeast Wisconsin. Every town not in a reservation is majority white by a lot. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about any of that. I'll tell you what, there's a lot of hunters up here. It's so different. If you don't hunt and you live in Wisconsin, you are the exception. It's weird. Like, I think today might be the start of gun season for deer. I don't really even know what that is. And a woman I was working with yesterday, her son and her husband were going off somewhere to shoot some deer. She goes, "Oh, you're not a hunter?" And I go, "Well, no, I don't think I could kill anything." I don't mind that people do if they're hunting deer. I told you I tried moose the other day. For some reason, it seems wrong to eat a moose. They feel kind of rare. But deer are all over up here. Yeah. Ice fishing up there? I don't like ice fishing. I mean, again, I talked about football and drinking. I think if I still drank, and smoked weed, I'd love to go sit in a shack and get drunk and high all day and try and catch some fish. But now that I don't drink or smoke or chew tobacco, sitting on a block of ice hoping to catch a fish doesn't seem particularly interesting to me. It never really did. Never really did. I've always liked fishing a lot, but never really cared for ice fishing at all. I would imagine they do a fair amount of ice fishing up here. Seabiscuit said, drinking in those, like an ice shack, has to be awesome. When I first came up here, apparently there's sturgeon. There's a Lake Winnebago, just a few miles that way from where I live. And a friend and I and her husband went out and drove out onto the lake where there was a bunch of ice shacks or something, whatever they're called, shanties, shacks, people fishing for sturgeon. I think they actually use a harpoon to get them. I don't know what the sturgeon are doing, swimming so close to the water. Note to sturgeon, swim a little deeper. There's people with harpoons looking to get you. But either way, we went to a couple bars afterwards, and people would hang these big old frozen blocks of fish that looked like prehistoric beasts outside the bar. I guess there's laws of how many you can take, or limits, but either way, it's kind of a big deal up here. Winnebago is the largest inland freshwater lake in America. That's what I heard. That's what I heard. It's not very deep, though. It is very large, but it's also very shallow and kind of mucky. I like to, I don't own a boat, so I tend to shore fish if I do. And whenever I've gone, I look at the water, it looks kind of silty with like algae. And I went to a state park called High Cliff State Park a few months ago, and there was some kids swimming in it, but they were like 100 yards out and they were still only up to their waist. So to me, that doesn't equate to good fishing. So far, I'm not super duper impressed with Lake Winnebago, although it is very large. Oh, so it's Saturday morning. It is 9:36. And I don't know what my day holds. It's my first day off in about a week, and I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to make it to the gym. Haven't made it there in a couple days. 3 days, actually. I was planning to go yesterday. I didn't make it. But I'll tell you what, after I got my big night's sleep and feeling relaxed, I'll make it there today. And probably edit some videos and grow my social media page. May hop on live later today. Tonight, I started the book of Numbers yesterday in the Bible. It's the fourth book in the Bible. It's taken me about 2 months reading 2 chapters a day to finish the first 3 books. And it feels good to be on to a new subject matter, Leviticus. I don't know what Leviticus means. I don't know if it's a Greek word or whatever, but it almost feels like it means like a laws. And it's a bunch of laws, and it was very tedious reading. Not that the first 2 chapters of Numbers weren't fairly tedious. It was a lot of numbers and taking a census of the Israeli army and how many lived in each clan and came from each, I don't know, father. It was fairly tedious reading. I'll tell you what, the Old Testament is not glorious reading. They'll tell you about the great stories in it, but I think that's a lot of artistic license, turning the 10 Commandments into some epic movie. Because again, in the Bible, it was just a few paragraphs. Yeah. So anyway, I don't know what else I have for you. I don't need to talk for 2 hours every day. I do often, but I don't need to. Talking for an hour is probably enough on this Saturday morning. Again, I got a late start, so it'll feel good to get my day started, but not be in a hurry for it at all. Thank you so much for joining, Seabiscuit, and thank you all for joining today. Again, I go live every morning, talk for about an hour, drinking coffee. And again, I appreciate you for joining. I hope you had a great week. I hope you had a wonderful night's sleep. Hope you're excited about your weekend. We've got Thanksgiving coming up in a few days, but let's not look too far ahead. Let us enjoy the Saturday that God blessed us with today. And again, I hope you're doing well, you're feeling good, you're loving yourself, you're forgiving yourself. And as always, I hope to talk to you soon. Bye-bye.